Remember when a trip to the mall wasn't just about shopping? It was the mix of smells drifting from the food court, the clatter of trays, and maybe even a giant sundae carried out with sparklers on top. In this video, we're stepping back into that world, where food courts and mall restaurants were part of growing up. Some were places to sit down for dinner, others just a quick snack between stores, but all of them left lasting memories. Stay with us, because you might be surprised at which forgotten favorite shows up on the list. For many mall-goers, Orange Julius was the stop you just couldn't pass by. That sweet, citrusy scent seemed to float through the air long before you saw the counter. Their frothy orange drink had a taste all its own, part juice, part milkshake, and completely unforgettable, thanks to that mysterious powder no one ever figured out. Some swore the Strawberry Julius was even better, but whichever you chose, it was creamy, refreshing, and instantly tied to the memory of a day at the mall. It wasn't fast food, it was steak on a tray. At York Steakhouse, shoppers lined up cafeteria style to choose a cut of beef, a baked potato, and maybe some cornbread on the side. The food was plain, but the dim lights and padded seats made the experience feel a notch above the usual court. Teenagers used it to impress a date, while families liked the hearty portions without spending too much. York gave people the feeling of dining out, even if they still had shopping bags at their feet.
This is Fields, yeah! Baking factory, you can make all kinds of treats.
The smell of butter and chocolate often led shoppers straight to Mrs. Fields. Cookies were baked right there, soft in the middle, with chocolate that still glistened from the oven heat. Crowds lingered to watch a tray come out, or picked up one of the oversized cookie cakes decorated for birthdays and celebrations. In between all the noise and neon, Mrs. Fields added a touch of comfort, a reminder of home, wrapped up in something as simple as a warm cookie. A glowing pizza case was all the sign you needed. Sparrow was close. Oversized New York-style slices stretched long and wide, the cheese pulling in strings as each one was lifted. And it wasn't only pizza. Many remember trays of baked ziti or stuffed shells steaming under the lamps. For teenagers, folding a slice in half while hurrying to the next store became part of the ritual. More than any other chain, Sbarro gave the food court its signature slice.
Open wide, America! Burger Chef's got thick, juicy, terrific burgers for you!
Burger Chef once came close to rivaling McDonald's in size, and one reason was its Works Bar. Customers could build their burgers with as many toppings as they liked, an idea that felt fresh long before other chains made it a slogan. Families liked the variety: burgers, fries, shakes, even toys in the kids' meals, and the bright orange glow of the sign made it easy to spot. By the early 1980s, the chain began to fade, but for those who remember, nothing beats stacking your own burger just the way you wanted it. Roy Rogers brought a bit of frontier flair to the mall. With wood panel decor and cowboy touches, it felt like stepping into a Western diner. The highlight was the Fixins Bar, where you could pile on pickles, onions, and sauces until your sandwich was just the way you liked it. Choices ranged from roast beef to fried chicken to burgers, but the fun was in building it yourself. Families enjoyed the hearty plates. Kids loved the cowboy vibe, and everyone remembered the freedom of creating their own perfect meal. Farrell's turned dessert into a show. Birthdays there became full-blown events, with waiters rushing through the dining room carrying the zoo, a sundae so massive it needed sparklers, flags, and a team effort to finish. Sirens blared, drums pounded, and everyone stopped to watch. Kids were thrilled, parents laughed along, and the memory of that joyful chaos stuck with people long after the last spoonful of ice cream was gone.
Nobody stacks up to Rax.
Ask anyone about Rax Roast Beef, and you'll hear different memories. Some think of the roast beef sandwiches, others recall the salad bars and baked potatoes, and a few still picture the glass solariums filled with plants and sunlight that certain locations had in the 1980s. For shoppers, it was simply a comfortable place to sit a little longer and eat something other than the usual burger and fries. Morrison's carried the cafeteria tradition right into the mall. Long steam tables, chrome rails, and staff in uniforms created a rhythm people knew by heart. The food was straightforward, Southern staples served in generous scoops, and the lines at lunch often stretched far. Families valued it for being practical, filling, affordable, and consistent. Morrison's wasn't flashy, but its routine became part of everyday shopping life for thousands of families. Red and white signs marked Hot Sam, but it was the smell that really drew people in. Fresh dough was rolled, twisted, and baked in plain view, then handed over warm enough to fog the bag. The salted pretzel was the classic, but the cinnamon sugar version built a loyal following. Add a cup of cheese for dipping, and it became the perfect quick treat. By the late 1990s, the name disappeared, but the memory of tearing into a warm pretzel on a shopping break has lasted. Hickory Farms wasn't about sitting down for a meal. It was about tasting as you passed by. Counters stacked with cheeses, sausages, and spreads invited shoppers to sample before buying. During the holidays, the displays grew into towers of gift boxes, and the smell of smoked summer sausage filled the air. Whether you picked up a cheese ball for home or just enjoyed the free samples, Hickory Farms added a seasonal flavor to mall shopping that people still remember. When country singer Kenny Rogers launched a chicken chain, people paid attention. Instead of deep frying, the focus was on rotisserie, rows of chickens turning slowly behind the counter, seasoned and golden. Plates came with simple sides like corn or mashed potatoes, giving the meal a home-style feel. For a time in the 1990s, it offered a fresh twist on comfort food and gave Kenny Rogers an unlikely second stage, this time in the restaurant world. Pup N Taco was a chain that never worried about keeping things simple. The menu jumped from tacos to hot dogs to root beer floats, and somehow it all worked. That mix-and-match approach gave the place a playful reputation, especially with younger crowds who liked trying something different. By the 1980s, most locations were taken over by Taco Bell, but the Pup N Taco name lived on as one of fast food's more unusual and fondly remembered experiments. The sizzle on the griddle announced what Great Steak and Potato Company was all about. Cheesesteaks cooked right in front of you with onions and peppers snapping in the grease, while oversized baked potatoes were stuffed until they nearly burst. It was unapologetically heavy food, the kind that filled you up fast. For hungry teens and dads in particular, it became the hearty alternative to lighter food court options, and it left a lasting memory of food that felt big, bold, and satisfying. Howard Johnson's was a familiar sight to travelers on the highway, and its express counters brought that roadside tradition indoors. The orange signs and chrome stools echoed the classic diners, while the menu offered the same comfort food people knew from the road: grilled cheese, clam rolls, and, of course, ice cream. It was a quick stop with a nostalgic touch, linking the new world of mall dining to an older generation's road trip memories. That's our look back at the mall restaurants so many of us remember. Which one was your favorite? Or maybe there's one I missed. Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your memories. And if you enjoy looking back at the past with a smile, don't forget to subscribe for more.